everybody, welcome back. I'm Rianne Crosby and I teach English, and in this video we're going to explore the S.E.A 2024 English Language Arts Section 1 paper. That would mean that we're going to look at the spelling, which is task 1, capitalization and punctuation, which is task 2, and the grammar task 3 for students who would have been assessed in 2024. Well, those students are now heading into another form, right? They would have done this paper already. So who is this video for? This video is for students who are writing examinations in 2026 and beyond. So why not join me? In the very first task, as you know, they give you a passage which has 6 lines, and the instructions for this task say there is one incorrectly spelt word in each line in the passage below. Draw a circle around the incorrectly spelt word. Write the correct spelling of the word in the box provided for each line. So this is what the paper actually looked like, and in this slide I'm showing you, I typed it over so that we can see it a little bit clearer, and that you can see where I circle the areas where the incorrectly spelt words are found. So here we go. What we're going to do is we're going to read from the beginning to the end of the passage, just so that we have an idea of the context in which each word is used, because context is important. Depending on the context in which a word is used, that will decide whether or not it will help us determine whether we should use one spelling or another for specific words. Video games, commonly referred to as electronic games, necessitate engagement with a controller and a screen. Video games can enhance hand-eye coordination, creativity, and problem-solving competency. They can also strengthen memory and relieve stress. Contrary to popular belief, these gadgets can be quite fascinating and entertaining. So what can we find in the first line, or what errors do you see in line 1, and how would you spell the incorrectly spelled word, which is, the first error is the word referred, and it should be spelled R-E-F-E-R-R-E-D, which is what we do. We double the final consonant when we have to add the ed ending to words that end in R, yes? The secondly incorrect spelled word is engagement, and engagement is spelled E-N-G-A-G-E-M-E-N-T. The third incorrectly spelled word is the word coordination, which is missing the letter O. So coordination should be spelled C-O-O-R-D-I-N-A-T-I-O-N. In line number 4, the incorrectly spelled word is competency, and even though it makes the C sound at the end, competency should be spelled C-O-M-P-E-N, competency, C-O-M-P-E-T-E-N-C-Y. Competency. I'm competently spelling competency, you see. Line 5, the penultimate line, the word relieve is incorrectly spelled, and there's a common spelling rule that helps students remember how these IE words should be spelled, but I've told all of my students that rule is just one rule that applies to many words, but it does not apply to all words. So the word relieve should be spelled R-E-L-I-E-V-E. And finally, in this section, the word fascinating is incorrectly spelled. Fascinating should be spelled like this: F-A-S-C-I-N-A-T-I-N-G, fascinating. Hopefully you were able to figure out all 6 of these. Let's move to task 2. For task 2, you are going to be given a passage once again with 6 lines, and the task's instructions say there is one punctuation or capitalization error in each line in the passage below. Insert the missing punctuation mark or capital letter in its correct place in each line. And for those of you just coming into the video, this is S.E.A 2024, and we're exploring section number 1. Again, we're going to read the passage from beginning all the way down to end, so that we can see how the ideas are presented to us, and that will help us to understand where we should put specific capital letters, and more importantly, where the boundaries of each sentence can be found, so that we will know what punctuation marks we can use as well. This is very important in tasks 2 and 3. It's important that we read the entire task because the context really does matter, especially for us understanding where a sentence may begin on one line but end on another, what punctuation mark should be used. So here we go. Jason, can you help carry these tools? Asked Mr. Green, his elderly neighbor who lived adjacent to Jason's residence. He assisted the old man by carrying the following items to the garage: rake, garden hose, and shears. Mr. Green was so grateful that he gave the boy one of his favorite novels, To Kill a Mockingbird. So, what we want here is to have a main idea, main concept of what's happening in this passage. It seems as though there's a brief conversation between a neighbor, an elderly neighbor, and he makes a request to a boy called Jason. And he asks the boy to do something, and in line 1, that asking or that making of the request is where we find our very first error, because there we should see a question mark. Jason, can you help carry these tools? A question mark should be put before the close quotation marks. In line 2, who lived adjacent to Jason's residence, going from line 2 into line 3, what should happen is that we should have that full stop removed. We need to remove that misplaced full stop after the word to, because the sentence really should end at the end or after the word residence. But even before we get to the word residence, there's another error in line 3. And if it's Jason's residence, it means it belongs to Jason, it belongs to Jason's family, it is their ownership, it's their possession, and therefore to show ownership or to show possession, we must include a specific punctuation mark to do that, and therefore the apostrophe mark is missing in Jason. The next thing that we want to look for in line 4 is that we see here the following items to the garage with the things that Jason assisted Mr. Green with. And to indicate that we have a list of items, especially since the word following has been used, we should use a punctuation mark to introduce that list, and therefore the punctuation mark should be a missing colon: garage, colon, rake, garden hose, and shears. But after that list is presented, we should end that thought, because another thought is being presented, another idea is being given to us. The idea that's being given to us in the very last sentence is that Mr. Green was so grateful. The idea that preceded or went before that idea of Mr. Green being grateful is the list of items that Jason helped him to move from one place to another. And therefore, if we have two separate ideas, we need to separate those ideas showing or by using a punctuation mark, which should go after the word shares. And therefore, the full stop is the punctuation mark that we should place after shares. And then in the final line, because Mr. Green's favorite novel is being passed on to Jason, the title of the novel should be indicated using a specific punctuation mark, and we have 1/2 of the punctuation mark that should be used. We see the close quotation marks, and of course we should put opening quotation marks before the word to indicate that this is the title of a novel. How are you doing so far? We're almost at the end of this video. Why don't you click the like button? Why don't you click subscribe so that you can know whenever I go through other S.E.A papers that I will be doing in the next coming weeks. Here we go with task 3 of the S.E.A 2024 paper, and we're going to look at the grammar section next. The instructions say that there is one grammar error in each line in the passage below. Draw a circle around the error and write the correct form of the word in the box provided. So again, our tip and the main thing we have to do when we explore tasks 1, 2, and 3, because we're looking for errors within lines, we have to read from the beginning all the way down to the end of the passage. So here we go. The mother, aggressive, refused to allow any humans near the newborn puppies. Many attempts to rescue the puppies from the drain resulted on booming barks, fierce growls, and vicious snarls. Fortunately, the people was able to distract him and so save the puppies. The mother was distressed and the puppies were rescued from the drain. So what we have here is a situation where a mother is trying to protect her newborn puppies from humans, but those newborn puppies are in a little bit of danger and the mother doesn't seem to be able to help them. We're only talking about a mother and puppies here, and so let's see how the grammar should have been presented in each of the lines. So we have the word the mother, and we have a word that modifies the way in which she refused to allow humans near her puppies. And if we have a modifier that is working with a verb, especially in this case the verb refused, we ought to have the adverb aggressively instead of aggressive used in line 1. In line 2, we see the adjective many qualifying the number of attempts that were made to rescue the puppies, and that points us to the very next error in line 2. So many attempts to rescue the puppies, because it would have been more than one attempt. Those attempts resulted on booming barks. Well, in line 3, the error is in booming barks, fierce growls, and vicious snarls. Fortunately, the people was able, and I'm pretty sure that you know that people is more than one, so we should use a verb which indicates that we have a plural noun, and therefore the error is the people were able to distract him. But who is him? I am not quite sure who him is. So in this line, we see an incorrect pronoun being used. We're talking about a mother being aggressive. We're talking about a mother booming and growling and snarling. Therefore, the pronoun used in this line shouldn't be him. The pronoun should be her. And in the very last line, since the puppies have been saved, the mother was distressed because she was panicked about the humans interacting or touching her puppies. But in the end, the puppies were rescued from the drain. This brings this video to an end. In this video, we explored our S.E.A 2024 section 1 of that paper. I hope you enjoyed this. Why not check out my other videos in this series? Subscribe to the channel, click the like button, and stay tuned for more. I'll see you in the next video where we'll explore section 2 of S.E.A 2024. My name is Rian Crosby and I teach English. Catch you later and see you in class. Bye for now.